Hello everybody, parents and students. Welcome to the next project. This one is about Africa. The bottom line, the overall theme of this whole project is students will study about a country. They'll find out the strengths of that country, use those strengths to build a school that will solve the weaknesses in that country. And certainly an applicable real-world skill for anything they're going to learn about, whether it's finding the strengths of the company and then trying to solve the weaknesses of that company, find the strengths of the school system and satisfy the weaknesses in that school system, whatever it may be. So here's what they have to do. The first thing students have to do is go to the If I Built a School project file that was shared with them through Google Drive. And there'll be a right up here that you certainly can read and give you some background here. Then you're going to click on this link, which gives you the instructions in more detail and everything that they're going to need to know. You need to know here, again, introduction and task. And I will paraphrase some of this for the interest of time. The first step is that students will research their country and they're going to record information about their country on an information sheet. Now that sheet is actually that Google Drive file, the same file that they got. They need to make a copy, and certainly all students know how to do this, make a copy and then share the copy back to me. Make sure you name it correctly. Core, space, the number of your core, space, your last name, space, your first name, space, and If I Built the School. So they're going to get information about their country, and they're going to record it right here. If I Built the School Geography Info Sheet. Fact 1 they found about their country, and the source they got that information from. Fact 2 and the source. They can keep on going. I put 6 here, but you can certainly keep on going more and more and more and more facts that you find about your country. So that's step 1. Step 2 is to look at all those facts and then think, what would be a strength of this country and what are some weaknesses? And again, you're going to record that information on that Google file that you shared back to me. And it's right here. If I Built a School, strengths and weaknesses. So you list strengths, and I put down 5. If you have more than 5, just type in strength 6 and keep on going. Strength 7, keep on going. And same thing for the weaknesses. I put 5 weaknesses here. Just click on right next to weakness 1. Type in the weakness that you found in that country, that you think is a weakness for that country. Weakness 2 that you think you have in that country. And again, if you have more than 5 weaknesses, keep on going. Keep on typing in whatever you think you need to put in there. That's the second step. The third step, and here's where they start working together with other students in more of a group format. They need to start thinking about, well, what are our strengths and what are the weaknesses we want to solve? And they come together with 3 or 4 other students and they discuss their country. They try to figure out, well, here's what I found. I found that they have gold. That could be a strength. I found that they have not enough rainwater. Here's a weakness. And they try to figure out what are some strengths overall, looking at all their lists, and what are some of our weaknesses. What strengths do we want to use, and what weaknesses do we want to try to solve? And then they go into a Google Drawing app. And this is going to be a new file they're going to create, and I'll show them in class, and certainly they will draw out and sketch out a very, very rough sketch of what their school would look like. Make little squares here in the Google Drawing app, and just label that square. This is where our cafeteria will go. This is where our health clinic might go, depending on the need of the school. This is where our farming tools will be stored, if that's the focus of their school. A weakness that they're trying to solve is farming and education. They go through and they kind of sketch out their school. Each student then also goes off and makes something to represent their school and what their school is trying to solve. So for example, say their school has a need for food. Maybe their school is going to teach students how to farm. So one student might make a school logo with a rake and a shovel and a hoe or something, kind of symbolizing we're trying to farm here. We're trying to teach how to farm. Okay, so they make some kind of item that would represent their school. I gave some ideas here. It could be a logo, it could be a brochure, it could be pictures in detail about it, it could be a uniform the students want to wear. Again, this is really open for students to be a little creative and have a little fun with it. It could be a school theme song that they write. It could be anything they want, as long as, again, tells about here's the focus of this school. Here's some of the strengths that we're going to use, and here's really the focus of the school, what we are trying to solve. Okay? So they certainly do that. Again, I put our students, they create anything they want, as long as they remember whatever they create should be based on the strengths and weaknesses of the country. It could be a rule book, a brochure, all those kinds of things. And that is, they make just one, and that is the third step. The fourth step that we have here, that students will finalize their creations and the design of the school on their Google Drawing. Again, they'll have the overall design of the school. They have to come together and agree on what is the weakness we're trying to solve. And then they need to prepare and present their ideas to class. And they're going to make a Google presentation with slides, a couple slides. There's going to be many. I wouldn't go crazy. 3, 4, 5 slides. You know, if you want to do more, great, but make sure you get it done in the time frame that you have to do all this work. And then the group needs to rehearse what they're going to say. And remember, the group's presentation must clearly state how they will address the areas of weakness and how they use the areas of strength to solve those weakness issues. And to convince the local population of the need for the school. Why does the local population even want this school? Why are they going to divert resources that they have, the few they may have, to build this school? And what is the long-term benefit for the people who live in the area? That's what the presentation really is. To say, here's the strengths we have in this country, here are the weaknesses we're trying to solve, here's how we're going to do that. And they're going to present it as if they're talking to the local community there. So here's why you need this school. And certainly in that presentation, they'll have the slides from their Google presentation, but also they should show the things they made, the brochures, the pictures, the uniforms, whatever it was that they made. That should be part of the presentation. And so go ahead and they will present that. The final thing they need to do, and here's some sources, some possible online sources that I've given, and here's some sources that students suggested. We spent some time learning how to research, and these were 6 very popular sites that students suggested that each other use, and so I put that here as well, so they can get some information about their country. There is a grading rubric that you have here, and it kind of goes through that. Before I talk about the grading rubric, though, I did forget. The last thing they need to do is they need to make a bibliography, and that is part here of parts 3 and 4. I mentioned that. Sources right here. Students must use at least 4 sources in their research. All right, and it says here, books, journals, newspapers, online sources, whatever. They need to have 4 sources there. And it kind of goes through how to do a bibliography. We've been going over that in class for a couple days now, or a couple weeks ago we did that, how to go through a bibliography and make one. So, here are the sources again. And they can use anything they want. Okay, but those are just some suggested sources. So here's a rubric also, so you can see exactly what they're being graded on, almost like a little checklist. You have a geography information. That was on that Google Drive first file, and the exemplary is what we're going for. And I'm not going to read over, but you can certainly take a look at it. It tells you what you need to get that exemplary or higher score. The strength and weakness listings there, and again, here is the exemplary line. The created items, the items that they're going to create individually. The exemplary line, also right here, again, what we're looking for. The group presentation, and here's the exemplary box again, and it talks about having the presentation, having the Google drawing. That's a part of it. And finally, a bibliography with more than 4 sources, hopefully, but at least 4 sources that they got their information from. Okay. The bibliography also does go on this first Google page. Here it is, bibliography, so you can put it here. So basically, any of the written portions, there's no essay or anything like that, but the facts that they find, the strengths and weaknesses, and the bibliography are all on an original Google Drive sheet that I've shared with them, and they made a copy and shared it back to me. The things they make and the presentation themselves, those are separate files or separate things they're going to bring on in. Okay. So, hopefully you get a chance to look at all this and see it. Again, this is something we're going to work on. It is definitely a lot of work, but it is something that's all we're going to do in class. So plenty of class time. This is all they have for homework. This is all they have for the weekend. So if they spend a little bit of time at home when they can budget their time, and they use their class time wisely, they should have no problem. The overall grade will, of course, be a combination of individual work and group work. And with their group work, really it's just the presentation component. That is the big part where they have to come together to agree on the strengths and weaknesses that they want to present. But looking at that rubric, majority of this is all individual. So the geography information sheet, individual. Strength and weakness page, individual. Creative item, individual. Bibliography, individual. It's just a group presentation. They need to come together, and we're working really hard to figure out how do you work with other people. Because certainly in the outside world, as they get older, they're going to have to work with many different types of people, many different types of personalities, many different types of work ethics, and they need to come together to produce something. Whether it's a teacher on a team of 5 other teachers, or in any kind of business setting or anything like that, you need to be able to work with other people. So one of the components is a group presentation. and they need to come together and work on this area together to make hopefully hit that exemplary mark. If you have any questions, certainly let me know, but even more importantly, if the students out there who might be watching this have any questions, they need to come and see me, because they're the ones in the classroom getting the detailed instructions. I kind of just went over it a little bit. They have the ones that can't ask me. They're the ones that hear me stress certain things and what to really focus on, and what are the pitfalls, and what are the strengths of doing this whole work, and where is the Schweikhofer train? Ask your son or daughter, where is the Schweikhofer train? Where we chunk an assignment like this day by day, what should they be doing? So hopefully students will come ask me, but if any parent out there has any questions, certainly send me an email anytime, and I'll gladly get back to them and hopefully give them any answer that you desire about this particular assignment. So, if you do have any questions, please come see me. Please take a look through this page. Ask your son or daughter for that page. Also, it has the link there. Read through the link and the rubric and everything. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.